In last lecture, we have seen MCQs from chapter Acid Bases and Salts, NCERT Exemplar. And in this lecture, we are going to see short answer type questions from chapter 3, metals and non-metals. So metals and non-metals, MCQs we have covered, and we are going to start short answer type questions. So 37th question, short answer type in the sense, each question carries 2 or 3 mark. So what is that question? What to write, what not to write, everything we are going to see here. Iqbal treated a lustrous divalent element M with sodium hydroxide. So some element M is there. We don't know what is that element. He treated with sodium hydroxide, NaOH. He observed the formation of bubbles in the reaction mixture. So formation of bubbles. Bubbles means some gas is produced. He made same observation when this metal was treated with hydrochloric acid. So same metal M he treated with hydrochloric acid HCl. Suggest how can he identify the produced gas? Write chemical equation for the both reactions. Okay, there is one metal M, we don't know, that is lustrous divalent element which is reacting with sodium hydroxide. So no need to think much. In your textbook you have only one equation, that metal is reacting with the base to form salt and hydrogen gas. That one equation, that is zinc, isn't it? When zinc is reacting with the sodium hydroxide NaOH, we are going to get Na2ZnO2, sodium zincate plus hydrogen gas. Now same metal we can use Zn, which is reacting with HCl to give ZnCl2, zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. Now answer. So from here it is a question. Suggest how can he identify the produced gas? How he can identify the produced gas? The produced gas can be identified by bringing a burning splinter near the gas. So what happens? It will burn with pop sound or top sound. So you have to identify the gas. What is that gas? That gas is hydrogen. So after writing that one, please underline. So burns with pop or top sound. You underline this. Next, write chemical equations for both the reactions. So this is first equation, this is second equation. So you can write the divalent element M is Zn, zinc. So if you read textbook directly, you can answer this question. During extraction of metals, electrolytic refining is used to obtain pure metals. So that is the information. Next, there are ABC questions. Each question carry 1 mark. Let us see what to write. Which material will be used as anode and cathode for refining silver metal by this process? I told you already, whatever metal you want to extract. So while coming to 3 parts, anode, cathode and salt. Anode should be impure metal, cathode should be pure metal, salt should be electrolyte. Electrolyte should be salt of that particular metal. Now, whatever it may be, maybe copper, maybe silver, whatever it may be. So what we'll be using for anode and cathode for the silver? The strip of pure silver is made cathode. That you have to underline. That's it, na? Pure silver, the strip of. It is connected to negative terminal of the battery. That no need to write this. We don't want this. And impure silver block is made anode. This you have to write and underline. No need to write this. It is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. No need. Done. These 2 points are most important. For this half mark you are going to get. For this half mark you are going to get. Total 1 mark for this A. Suggest a suitable electrolyte also. Yeah, while coming to this solution. Solution we are calling like electrolyte. So electrolyte must be salt of that particular metal. The electrolyte is any salt solution of silver. Maybe silver nitrate, something like that. Like silver nitrate. But here, sodium arsentocyanide is preferred. No, it is just you go with until here. This is more than enough, because this sodium arsentocyanide, it is not there in textbook, so no need to write this. Leave it. Third, in this electrolytic cell, where do we get pure silver after passing current? On passing current, impure metal dissolves from anode and goes into electrolytic solution, and pure metal formed from the electrolyte deposited on cathode. This is important. Pure metal from the electrolyte deposited on the cathode. So these are the important points from the answer. 39. Why should the metal sulfides and carbonates can be converted to metal oxides in the process of extraction of metals from them. Yeah, metal sulfides, metal carbonates are converted into metal oxides. Why? Because it is easy to reduce. Again, if you take this metal oxide can be reduced by using some element X. So that oxygen can be removed and it is added to X and we can extract only metal. So because it is easier to obtain metals from their oxides. This is the most important line in the answer. It is easier to obtain metals from their oxides than from carbonates or sulfide ore. Before reduction, the ore must be converted into metal oxide, which can be reduced. Then it can be reduced. Now, calcination or roasting is done depending on the nature of the ore to convert ore into oxides. A carbonate ore is converted into oxide by calcination, whereas sulfide ore is converted into oxide by roasting. This is not required to write this because nothing they are asking. They are asking why should the metal sulfides and carbonate can be converted to metal oxide in the process of extraction of the. So this paragraph is more than enough. No need to write this. 40. Generally, when metals are treated with mineral acids, okay, metals are treated with mineral acids, hydrogen gas is liberated. But when metal except manganese and magnesium treated with HNO3, hydrogen is not liberated. Why? Most important this. Because nitric acid is strong oxidizing agent. Underline this. Nitric acid is strong oxidizing agent. So as soon as hydrogen gas is formed in the reaction between metal and dilute nitric acid, the nitric acid oxidizes this hydrogen to water. That's it. So metal plus acid gives rise to salt plus hydrogen gas. For example, if this acid is HNO3, as soon as adding metal plus HNO3 gives rise to salt plus, of course, hydrogen gas is produced, but this HNO3 is strong oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent means which produces oxygen. Now this oxygen and this hydrogen both will combine together. So now instead of hydrogen, H2O, water is produced. Water is produced. Hydrogen gas is formed, reaction between metals, nitric acid. As soon as hydrogen gas is formed in reaction between metal and nitric acid, the nitric acid oxidizes this hydrogen to water and itself HNO3 gets reduced to NO2 or NO or N2O. So H2O plus either NO2 or N2O or NO. So in the reaction of metal, except manganese and magnesium with dilute nitric acid, no hydrogen gas is evolved. If it is manganese or magnesium, hydrogen gas is evolved. That is the concept. So any doubts until 40?
No, sir.
Right.
No, sir.
No, sir.
41. Compound X and aluminum are used to join railway track. Whenever you are observing this joining railway track, you have to go with that thermit reaction. Identify the compound X. Yes, we know this equation which is straight away present in the textbook. If you observe textbook, this is the equation. So from page number 52, you can find this. This equation straight away you can write it. So this reaction is known as thermit reaction. Right. So what is added to aluminum means Fe2O3 is added to aluminum. So X is X and aluminum. That X is Fe2O3, iron oxide. So that question is what they are asking. Identify the compound X. The compound X is iron oxide, Fe2O3. Name the reaction. The reaction is known as thermit reaction or aluminothermy. This word is not there in textbook, no need to write, but it is extra information from NCERT Exemplar. So thermit reaction, until here it is enough, and try to underline this. Write down its reaction. So its reaction Fe2O3 plus Al gives rise to Fe plus Al2O3 plus heat. This is exothermic reaction. Because of huge production of heat, only that aluminum oxide, this iron is there, that will be obtained in molten state, liquid state. So that will be filled in the gaps between the railway track, so that hence it becomes solid. 42. When metal X is treated with cold water, it gives basic salt Y. Okay. X is treated with water, cold water, it gives base Y with molecular formula XOH. Okay, so XOH. That's it. Now this is metal, definitely. So metal hydroxide, nothing but base. Molecular mass 40, its mass is 40, and liberates a gas Z. So along with base, one gas Z is released, which easily catches fire. We know when metal is reacting with, we know general equation, na? When metal is reacting with water, it produces either metal oxide or metal hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. This though we know. So liberates gas jet, which easily catches fire. We know this gas jet, that is hydrogen gas. We identified Z. Identify X, Y, and Z. Also write the reaction. Okay. Some metal they are asking, and water. We know high reactive metal produces metal hydroxide. If I take sodium, it produces metal hydroxide. If I take lithium, it produces lithium hydroxide. If I take potassium, also potassium hydroxide. We cannot tell which one is that, but only one logic is there. Molecular mass is 40. Now we know they have given another hint that molecule is XOH. Now try to find mass of XOH. We don't know X. Try to find mass of O and H. Oxygen atomic number is 8, mass is 16. Hydrogen atomic number is 1, mass is 1. So 16 plus 1, we know we got 17 for this hydroxide. Now, what is total mass they gave? 40. In 40, remove this 17. 40 minus 17. What would be the answer? So here it is 3,
20.
23. 23. 23 is mass, means definitely atomic number must be half of that. What is half of 23? Something around 11.5, isn't it?
11. Sure.
11.5 atomic number is not there. Either it has to be 11 or 12. So if it is 11.5, it must be 11. 11. 12 means it will be 24 something. Na? So 23 means if it, that is before 24 itself, 23. So its atomic number must be 11. Which element has atomic number 11? That is sodium. Sodium atomic number is 11 and its mass is 23. Why it is mass is 23? Sodium has 11 electrons, 11 protons, and 12 neutrons. Now, addition of proton and neutron, nothing but atomic mass, 11 protons and 12 neutrons, nothing but 23 is the mass of sodium. This also you have to remember. Now we have identified that X is metal, sodium, and reaction. Alright, they have asked, write the reaction involved. So sodium plus water, cold water gives us to sodium hydroxide plus H2. Now that X is sodium, Y is sodium hydroxide, Z is hydrogen gas. Like that we have to write answer. A non-metal X.
If we do directly, like we know that Na will react with the water, no, sir.
Yeah. If you don't know, I'm telling. So that logic we can use, that XOH logic you can use, and molecular formula 40 logic you can use, so that we can get it. 43. A non-metal X, we don't know, exists in two different forms, Y and Z. Y is hardest natural substance, where Z is good conductor of electricity. Identify X and Y. So if you complete 4th chapter carbon and its compounds, easily you can identify what is that X and Y. X is hardest, Y is hardest natural substance. What would be the hardest natural substance, guys? Non-metal, which is hard. We have studied in physical property.
Diamond.
Yes, diamond.
Diamond.
Very good, diamond. When we are seeing the diamond, we can easily identify that is carbon compound, isn't it? Now, X is good conductor of electricity. Y is hardest.
Graphite.
Very good. Z is good conductor of electricity. So, good conductor of electricity means graphite. Now diamond and graphite means, what is the main element of diamond and graphite? What
Carbon.
is the form? Carbon.
Carbon.
X is carbon. Done. We got carbon, graphite, diamond. Now non-metal X is carbon and
These are allotropes, sir.
diamond, Z is graphite. You underline this. X is carbon. Whatever nonsense you want, you write it. We don't bother. X is carbon, Y is diamond, Z is graphite. At least you underline that. That is more than enough. Then 44. The following reaction takes place when aluminum powder is heated with MnO2. MnO2 plus Al gives rise to Mn plus Al2O3 plus heat. Is aluminum getting reduced? Second one, is MnO2 getting oxidized? So is aluminum getting reduced? You see, aluminum is becoming aluminum oxide, means oxygen is added to aluminum. Is it getting reduced or oxidized? Aluminum.
Oxidized, sir.
Very good.
Oxidized, sir.
Reactant side we have only Al. Product side we have Al2O3, means oxygen is added. So it is oxidized. Is aluminum getting oxidized? No. Aluminum is getting reduced means no. Aluminum is getting oxidized. If you want reason, you can write it. They didn't ask reason. Why? If they have asked why, you could have written this. Because there is addition of oxygen. If required, you write it. If you feel like I need to write explanation, you write it. But this you have to underline. Is MnO2 getting oxidized? You see, MnO2 is becoming Mn, means oxygen is removed. Oxygen is removed means it is undergoing reduction process. No, MnO2 is getting reduced. If you want, you can write it because there is removal of oxygen. Like that. 45. What are the constituents of solder alloy? So solder, which property of solder makes it suitable for welding electrical wires? So in that one, material itself we have studied. Not only material, NCERT Exemplar also. Yesterday when we are studying, solder is an alloy of lead and tin. We have to remember this, lead and tin containing 50% of lead, 50% of tin. Solder has low melting point, so it is used for soldering welding electrical wires. So easily within small voltage and temperature itself it will melt, so that easily it will become liquid and we can fill it in the gap, and it is used to join the wires and solder the wires. Lead and tin. 46. Metal A, which is used in thermit process, when heated with oxygen gives an oxide B, which is amphoteric in nature. Identify A and B. Write down the reactions of oxides B with HCl and NaOH. Very easy. Metal A, which is used in thermit process. So thermit process means we know iron Fe2O3 plus aluminum, isn't it? So either you can go with iron and aluminum, but in these two, one we have to select. When heated with oxygen gives oxide B. Okay, iron will give iron oxide, aluminum also it will give aluminum oxide, that is leave it. Which is amphoteric in nature. Now in these two, which one is amphoteric in nature? Of course, aluminum. Aluminum and zinc, isn't it? Both are amphoteric in nature. Now answer is aluminum. Now here a metal A, that metal A is aluminum, which is used in thermit process, heated with oxygen gives oxide B, that is aluminum oxide, Al2O3, which is amphoteric in nature. Yes, aluminum oxide is amphoteric in nature. Identified A is aluminum, B is Al2O3. Now write down the reactions of oxide B, aluminum oxide, with HCl and NaOH. So this B we got now Al2O3. Al2O3 with HCl, Al2O3 with NaOH. Okay, let us write Al2O3 with HCl. It is amphoteric in nature now. Amphoteric means which will be showing acidic as well as basic character now. Now when we are using HCl, it must be basic. When you are using base, it must be acid. We know neutralization reaction, acid plus base gives rise to salt plus water. Same logic you can use. Al2O3 plus HCl, we have to write one salt, AlCl3 and water H2O. When
Basic salt, sir. That's
O3 is reacting with base. Yes, please.
So that AlCl3 is basic salt, no, sir?
Yeah, it is basic salt. And an aluminum oxide is reacting with sodium hydroxide. We are going to get sodium aluminate. This equation also, it will be present in your textbook. It is there. No, without concepts, they will not ask any question in your board examination. So I'll show you if required. You see, this is the equation. Al2O3, same equation they have asked, same these two equations. From page number 41, if you can read these two equations, that's what I'll be telling. Practice equations. What are the equations present in your textbook? You practice it. You see, straight away you could write now if that question is asked. That is the thing. So don't feel like they're asking questions from somewhere else. Okay, guys, any doubts till 46? Till now?
No, sir.
Right?
No, sir.
Done. If you have any doubts, then and there you can unmute yourself and you can ask. A metal that exists as liquid at room temperature. Just by saying the logic itself, we can tell it is mercury. Is obtained by heating its sulfide, mercuric sulfide, in presence of air. Okay. Identify the metal and its ore and give reactions involved. Simple. Here also in textbook we have cinnabar. You might have heard. In extraction of metals, here this one, extraction of low. This is the paragraph you have to read to answer this question. Oxides of this metal. Okay, for example, cinnabar, nothing but HgS, mercuric sulfide, is an ore of mercury. Now these are the equations you have to see. This is also from your page number 51. Okay, the metal mercury, because the only metal which exists in liquid state. Okay, so this you have to underline. The metal is mercury. Mercury is obtained from the sulfide ore called cinnabar. This you underline. Cinnabar ore, that is HgS. Now equations, same equations which are present in textbook you can write. That is HgS plus O2 gives rise to, that is metal sulfide. Metal sulfide, we are heating in presence of oxygen, nothing but roasting. It becomes metal oxide plus sulfur dioxide or sulfur oxide will be coming. Again, we are taking this metal oxide. Then we will heat so that oxygen and metal can be separated out. Same two equations, you can write it here. Done. Give the formula of the stable binary compounds that would be formed by the combination of the following pairs of element. Okay, when magnesium and N2 nitrogen is combining together, what we are going to get? They are asking magnesium nitride, and they are asking to write formulae. Now we have to go with your grade 9, chapter 3, atoms and molecules. In that we have studied crisscross method, isn't it? That crisscross method you have to make it. Okay, magnesium nitride, Mg, and N2 they are asking. Mg you write, N2 you write, and Mg, N2. Now nitrogen atomic number is 7, valency is 3. That 3 goes to magnesium, right? And of course, magnesium valency is 2. The 2 goes to nitrogen. Anyhow, it is 2. Leave it. No need to write anything. That 3 goes to magnesium. Hence, it becomes Mg3N2. That is correct. Then lithium and oxygen. So Li and O. Again, you write Li and O. Oxygen. We know at oxygen's atomic number is 8 and valency is 2. Lithium. So guys, don't. It is not like they are asking Li and they have to go with only O2. Lithium and oxygen. Lithium, hydrogen, helium, lithium, atomic number 3, valency is 1. 1 goes to oxygen, it becomes O1. 2 goes to lithium, it becomes Li2. It becomes Li2O1. No need to mention anything. Like that, we will get Li2O. And aluminium and chlorine. Don't consider that we have to go with only Cl2. It is just chlorine. Now, AlCl. Again, you write AlCl. Aluminium, atomic number, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, 13. So, valency is 3. Chlorine is 17, valency is 1. 1 goes to aluminium, Al1. 3 goes to chlorine, Cl3. It becomes AlCl3. Now, potassium and oxygen, KO, right? KO. Sodium, potassium, atomic number is 12, isn't it? Sorry, sodium, magnesium, chlorine, argon, potassium. Argon is 18, potassium is 19. 19 means valency is 1. Oxygen, atomic number is 8. Valency is 2. 2 goes to potassium, K2. 1 goes to oxygen, O1. It becomes K2O. Done. What happens when zinc carbonate is heated in absence of oxygen? When it is anyhow it is carbonate, we are going with calcination process. Calcination process means absence of oxygen only. Zinc oxide and carbon dioxide are produced when ZnCO3 is heated in absence of oxygen. So ZnCO, this equation also will be present. You see here, this one, zinc carbonate, when it is heated, we will get zinc oxide and carbon dioxide gas. No equation or no concept is out of textbook. Zinc carbonate, when it is heated, we are going to get zinc oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Zinc oxide, carbon dioxide. Next. This process is called calcination. In textbook also they have written this is calcination. Then a mixture of Cu2O and CuS is heated. So Cu2O, copper oxide and copper sulfide is heated. What will happen? From copper oxide, oxygen will come out. From copper sulfide, sulfur will come out. So oxygen and sulfur will both mix together to form sulfur dioxide, and both coppers will be mixed. So we will get copper. That is also. So copper metal sulfur dioxides are produced. So this is logic equation where we cannot find everything from textbook, right? So that is just logical equation. When it is heated, what happens, that you have to understand. Now also you see this equation is present in textbook. Copper oxide and copper sulfide is heated. What happens? Copper and sulfur dioxide gas is produced. You see, every equation will be in textbook. Then 50th question. Okay, any doubts till 49?
No, sir.
Am I fast?
No, sir.
So because all equations and all concepts are present in textbook, if you could have read the textbook, all answers, you will only solve it without my assistance. Okay, 50th. A non-metal A, we don't know, is an important constant of our food and forms two oxides, B and C. Okay, the non-metal, we don't know. What is that non-metal? But it is important constant of food, it seems. Done. Oxide B is toxic, where C causes global warming. Okay, global warming. We know that global warming is carbon dioxide. Easily we can identify carbon dioxide causes global warming. So from this we can infer that non-metal is carbon. Okay, carbon is forming oxides, two oxides B and C. Oxide B is toxic, so definitely it will be carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is toxic, carbon dioxide is not toxic, right? Okay, so now carbon is important constant of food. Yes, true. In carbon-dated compounds, you can observe in every food material there will be compound. In oils there will be carbon. In food materials there is carbon. In glucose there is carbon. What is the chemical formula of glucose? C6H12O6, right? Glucose chemical formula. So carbon is present in everywhere. Every material carbon is there. So answer is carbon. Done. Identify A, B, C. A is carbon. B is carbon monoxide, C is carbon dioxide. Simply we can tell right here. A is carbon, B is carbon monoxide, C is carbon dioxide. Done. To which group of period table does A belong? Okay, we have to study 5th chapter to answer this question. I said na, every chapter somehow it is interdependent on other chapters. So after studying that periodic classification of elements, at that time we'll try to answer this one. Meanwhile, I'll tell you carbon atomic number is 6, electronic configuration is 2, 4. It belongs to 14th group element. So how to identify that 14th group element, that I'll tell you, don't worry, while studying 5th chapter. 51st question. Give 2 examples each of metals that are good conductors, comparatively poor conductors of heat. Good conductors of heat, silver and copper. Poor conductors of heat, lead and mercury. Done. But you should get doubt. Sir, mercury, if it is poor conductor of heat, why are we using in thermometers? Guys, any answer? In thermometer is used to find the temperature only, na? But they're telling mercury is poor conductor of heat. Then how? Mercury is used to show the heat, to show the temperature. Any answers? Nikit,
Sir,
Pranati?
I guess even our body temperatures might not be very high, no, sir.
Oh, okay. Basically, poor conductors means it will not even conduct heat energy, na? Okay, you do one thing. Ask this question to your physics and chemistry teachers today. So, you ask your chemistry teacher, if mercury is poor conductor of heat energy, why are we using mercury in thermometers to show the temperature? What is meant by temperature? It is degree of hotness or coolness. So, how it can show that heat energy? Will you ask today, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ask and tell
Yes,
me
sir.
answer tomorrow. Don't Google the answer. Ask your teacher.
Okay, sir.
Right. 52. Okay, still how many questions are there? Okay, how many questions we can complete those many? Okay, 58 questions are there. We'll see how many questions we can complete. Remaining, you try to read it. So every answer will be easy only. Just if you go through it. Name one metal and one non-metal that exists room temperature. Okay, this is very small question that you can do it. An element A. Okay, answer also displayed here. You can see. An element A reacts with water to form compound B. Okay, A reacts with H2O to form compound B, which is used in whitewashing. Very good. Whitewashing in the sense directly we can tell it is calcium hydroxide, isn't it? CaOH taken twice because it is there in chapter 1, if you can remember. The compound B on heating forms oxide C. So CaOH taken twice, if you heat, it forms one compound C, which on treatment with water gives back B. So this we are going to get now this compound C. Again, if you add water, we are going to get this CaOH taken twice, it seems. First of all, how are we going get that CaOH taken twice? In chapter 1, we have studied when calcium oxide is treated with water, we are going to get CaOH taken twice, isn't it? Again, if we heat that CaOH taken twice, we are going to get CaO plus H2O. Done. From this itself, we can write all answers. Element A is calcium and it forms calcium hydroxide. So B is calcium hydroxide and that C is CaO, calcium oxide. That's it. All equations, you can write it. Okay, guys, can you read this 54, 55? So 54
Okay,
is
sir.
to A, B, C, metal. Such type of questions are important. Why? Because in examinations you can get metal compound A forms B and on treating with C, that and all. And 55, zinc ore. So this is regarding extraction of metals, roasting and calcination process. And 56, metal M does not liberate hydrogen gas but reacts with oxygen. Okay, they are talking regarding chemical properties of metals. 57, an element forms an oxide A2O3. Okay, some metal, some element we don't know, acidic in nature. Identify whether it is metal or non-metal. Okay, metal oxides and non-metal oxides. Which one is basic? Which one is acidic? We have studied. Metal oxides are basic in nature. So which is acidic in nature? Which metal oxide will be acidic in nature? Metal oxide or non-metal oxide?
Metal oxide, sir.
Non-metal oxide.
Very good. Like that, you can go with that one. Last 58th question. Solution of copper sulfate was kept in iron pot. Okay, they are asking reaction between salt and metal. That's it, na? Metal is iron. That is copper sulfate. Fe plus CuSO4. From 8th class onwards, you have been studying this. That is FeSO4 plus Cu. Done. Okay, all nonsense they will give, but only chemical equation you have to write. So you read all these 58 questions, and in next lecture we are going to see long answer type questions. How many long answers are there? 59, 60, 61, 62. Okay, a few. Done. So in tomorrow lecture we can complete all these long answer questions, as well as if you have any doubts, first 10 minutes I'll clarify doubts from the short answer questions. So you read, I'll send material, and we'll meet in next class.